I never expected anyone to be perfect. Life showed me a long time ago that everybody trips, feelings change like the weather, and relationships have seasons that don't always add up. But there was one thing I refused to bend on: loyalty. The kind that doesn't shout, doesn't need a billboard, just shows up day after day. My name's Ethan. I'm 38, born and raised in Ohio. I've spent my whole adult life working with my hands. Framing houses, flipping kitchens, turning empty rooms into something solid. That's always been my picture of love too. Not the movie explosions or fairy tale nonsense, but real building. One board, one nail, one choice at a time. Showing up when it's hard. Putting in the work. And for 6 straight years I showed up for Sarah. When we met, she lit up every room. Laughing like the volume knob was broken, talking a mile a minute, grabbing my arm like we were late for the best thing ever. I loved being her anchor. Loved steadying her when the world spun too fast. For a long time she let me. Then the shift came slow. Nothing you could point to at first. Her phone became an extra limb. She stopped melting into my hugs. Hugs turned into quick side squeezes. In bed she'd roll to the edge, mumbling she was exhausted, that work was crazy, that I got it. I told myself I did. Then one warm evening in May, she came home glowing in a way I hadn't seen in forever. Words tumbled out like she couldn't wait. A girl's trip to Jamaica, for days, resort already booked, she needed a reset bad. Something twisted in my gut, but I swallowed it. Go, I said. If you need it, go. She pecked my cheek and bounced off, already halfway somewhere else. What I didn't know yet was that she'd already left our marriage months before she ever left the country. While she was gone, the house felt wrong. Too still. Too perfect. Like it belonged to someone I didn't know. I kept telling myself 4 days was nothing, that she'd come home lighter, that maybe we'd find our way back. She got back on a Tuesday. I'd left work early, planned to cook her favorite, maybe act like everything was still salvageable. The second she stepped inside, I felt it. Her smile looked painted on. The hug was stiff, like she was hugging a coworker. Sarah never dodged eye contact. Ever. The next couple weeks were a roller coaster. Cold one day, snappy the next. Then random bursts of sweetness before the deep freeze again. She swore she was fine, that I was reading into things, that life was just heavy. Then the morning sickness kicked in. Then the weird cravings. Then the exhaustion she couldn't fake anymore. One morning while she slept, I found the test in the bathroom trash. 2 pink lines. My stomach didn't flip with joy. It dropped straight to the floor. I grabbed the calendar in my head. Counted backward. Jamaica. All those months of distance. Every time she pulled away from my touch. I didn't need a lab. A man knows. Not because of proof. Because the hurt sharpens everything. When she finally told me, her voice shook. Not from shame, from fear of saying it out loud. It was one time, she whispered. I was drunk. It wasn't planned. I never thought. I didn't yell. Didn't demand details I already had. Something inside my chest just gave way. Like a main beam that's been rotting for years finally snapping. I looked at her, really looked, and the woman I loved wasn't there anymore. That night, after she cried herself to sleep, I packed a duffel. Jeans, a couple tees, charger, my favorite hand tools. No note. No scene. Just walked out quiet. By the time the sun came up, I was gone. No calls, no texts, no breadcrumbs. For the first time in years, silence felt like oxygen. I drove with no plan. Let the highway choose. The steady thrum of tires on pavement drowned out the noise in my skull. Every mile felt like shedding dead weight. I didn't tell friends. Didn't tell family. I just needed to be nowhere near the story she'd rewritten without me. A man can lose a house, a wife, a whole future in one reckless night. But he doesn't have to lose himself. I stopped at a little diner up in northern Ohio. The kind where the waitress calls you hon and refills your coffee before you ask. I sat in the corner booth, watching rain streak the window, and let it sink in. She came home from a girl's trip carrying another man's baby. And in that cracked vinyl seat something clicked. I'd been clinging to a ghost. The next few days on the road gave me room to think. About the girl who stole my breath the first night we met. About the slow erosion I kept excusing. Every time I swallowed my gut feeling. Every time I built something she no longer wanted to live in. I thought about screaming. About revenge. About making her feel a fraction of it. But none of that brought her back. Because the her I wanted had already left. By day 4 I knew what I was going to do. Nothing. No begging. No explanations. She wanted that life. She could keep it. I was taking mine back. I found a tiny apartment 2 towns over. Empty walls, folding chair, air mattress, but it was mine. Hanging my jacket on the back of a door I paid for felt like planting a flag. That first night I slept straight through. No tense silence next to me. No pretending. Just my own breathing and the realization that walking away wasn't quitting. It was surviving. My phone lit up the next morning. Sarah. I let it ring. A man who leaves without a word sometimes teaches the clearest lesson of all. Days turned into weeks. My head started clearing. I wasn't obsessing over what she was doing or who she was doing it with. I was cooking for one. Running to the hardware store alone. Sitting on park benches watching happy families without feeling like I'd been robbed. Then, about a month after I vanished, a mutual friend called. Ethan, Sarah's looking for you. She says she needs to talk. I thought about it for a long time. Then I didn't call back. A couple weeks later a letter showed up. No return address, but I knew the handwriting. She wrote that she was keeping it, that she was scared, that she needed help, forgiveness, something from me. I read it twice, folded it, and slid it into a drawer I never open. She made her choice. I made mine. I eased back into life on my own terms. Picked up side jobs. Hung out with buddies I'd ignored for years. Spent evenings in the garage building furniture that would actually last. Some nights the quiet still stung, but the sting was clean. Honest. People get to choose who they are. But a man who respects himself gets to choose too. Yeah, I disappeared without a trace. And in that disappearing I found the strongest version of me I'd almost forgotten existed. No blown-up fights. No dramatic rain-soaked showdowns. Just quiet. Just space. Just me taking back the only thing that was ever truly mine, myself.